is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
There have been some big moments in the first three games of this series. Thursday night, Troy Tulowitzki with a two-run hit for the game winner. On Friday night, Edwin Encarnacion goes deep. And yesterday, V-Mart, the game-winning home run for the Tigers. What do we have in store today? Well, we know it's a beautiful day for baseball. The final game in this series featuring the Detroit Tigers and the Toronto Blue Jays. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Kirk Gibson. Glad to have you with us for the fourth and final game of the series. And really, Gibby, all three of these games have been hotly contested and some good baseball here the last 3 days.
Well, the whole road trip's good. If they win today, they go home 7-4. It's a good positive direction. It just came from Cleveland, a very good team and a good pitching team. Now they get into Toronto that has good pitching as well. I think they've competed much better here against the Blue Jays today. It's just been back and forth. You have to make good defensive plays. The pitching's been good. It's come down to the bullpen every day. I think we look for another good one today. Hopefully the Tigers bullpen comes out. We split the series and on to the All-Star break.
All right, let's talk about Victor Martinez. It's funny how this game of baseball can go because Victor had struggled the entire series. All it takes is one at bat, and he had that big at bat yesterday.
Well, 0 for 10 in this series and comes up with the chance to win the game. I've been there before. You get frustrated, but you got to keep telling yourself, I'm going to get this guy. I'm going to have the last laugh. He's just very consistent all year, doing it from both sides. He does it from the left side, the right side. And then last night he comes up in that situation, and you keep that belief. He's just on a great pace this year. 11 home runs in 2015, already 17 here in 2016, on pace for a 330 home run, 100 RBI season. So Victor has just been a good cog in the middle of that Tiger lineup, very consistent and with a good attitude today.
All right, now Anibal Sanchez will take them out for the Tigers this afternoon. It's another shot for Sanchez. Hopefully he'll make good going into the All-Star break.
Well, he's not had a good year. Let's face it, the numbers are terrible. He's been a starter his whole career. He's been a starter this year, went to the pen. Now he's getting another chance to start. I think it all goes just with his confidence right now. I know they've worked on his mechanics, but he's been nibbling a lot with his fastball. He's afraid to throw it over the middle of the plate. I think the key is for him not to be afraid to nibble, to stop the nibbling. The key so far for this series has been the curveball. Last night we saw Matt Boyd with that slow curveball really set up his fastball. You got to throw a changeup. You got to have movement to those pitches. That'll buy you some time in case you make a mistake or two against this Toronto team.
No nibbling. That's what Gibby says.
No
nibbling.
nibbling.
All right, stay with us. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Coliseum Studios. Check in with Johnny Kane. Coming up with this one here today, he's sitting on 199 career home runs. Jay up going for 200 today. Stay with us. Game 4 in this series, Tigers Jays next. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Nice day for baseball here in Toronto. First pitch is thrown by Roberto Alomar and Joe Carter as the Jays celebrate their 40th season here in Toronto. Stay with us. Lineups, first pitch coming up next. Ball this afternoon. The Tigers wrap up the first half of the final game of this series here against the Jays. And here is their starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. For the Tigers, it'll be Kinsler, Maben, and Cabrera in the top three spots. Victor Martinez, your DH, Castellanos at third. Upton in the left, the bottom three of Avitos in right field. McCann, Jose Iglesias, who's had good numbers this year against the Toronto Blue Jays. And as we look at these standings in the American League Central Division, the Tigers right now trailing the Cleveland Indians by 6.5 games. They gained a game on Cleveland last night.
Yeah, Tigers are hanging in there. Lost the first two games, got a good win yesterday. Chance to have a great road trip right here today. Chicago and Kansas City right behind. Talked to a couple people from Kansas City today. Nobody's panicking, and it'll be an interesting break, and then the next month of the season will be big with great competition. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. Left field, Michael Saunders again, Kevin Pillar again in center field. Ezekiel Carrera had a great series against the Tigers so far in right. Darwin Barney at third, Justin Smoke on the other corner at first base. Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop. Boy, he's made some great defensive plays so far. Devin Travis there at second base. And Josh Tolley is going behind the plate today. That's R.A. Dickey's personal catcher.
And we will check out the particulars now on the right-hander R.A. Dickey.
Well, you can see the numbers only 6 and 9 this year. He throws his knuckler a little harder than most knuckleball guys do. It's kind of like hitting a slow pitch softball. You got to let the ball come to you. You got to get ahead 2-0, look for the fastball, and also when you're on the bases, look for that wild pitch pass ball, because catchers in general have troubles catching the knuckleball during the game. And if it's a good one, remember we once were going against Charlie Huff. He had a one-hitter, and we were up by 4-0 on 7 pass balls that day.
Ooh. Yeah, it can be tricky. And Tolley, of course, the personal catcher. You mentioned Troy Tulowitzki. This guy's had a really good series defensively for the Jays.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable, going both ways. And there dives for the line drive. Now he's going the other way. He's got this jump throw down. You know, his two idols are Nomar Garciaparra and Derek Jeter. We've seen Jeter make this play several times in his career. Just amazing how he knows how to put an arc on it, filter it in there, and slides in there at the little tail. And that's the one thing, even beyond his offensive capabilities, that he does day in and day out. And that's great defense.
Well, here are the field conditions today as we get set for baseball this afternoon, presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. It is 77 out today and mostly sunny here this afternoon. Great afternoon for baseball here in Toronto.
You give me your call on what it is out there today.
I'm going to say gorgeous.
Yeah, I can't write that over the telestrator.
Well,
it's too big.
No, you got to learn how to get it done. Here is Ian Kinsler. All right, how about nice?
I can write that.
Kinsler, Maben, and Cabrera, the top three, facing R.A. Dickey. And we are set for baseball here this afternoon. Here's the first pitch of the ball game today, and it's a check swing roller toward first. And that's going to be an easy out. Kinsler got about 3-4 steps out of the box. One gone.
Well, many guys say if it's low, let it go. Look for the ball up, because if it knuckles on you, you still have room to go down and get it. If it's low, it's going into the dirt. But that one there knuckled. Ian tried to hold up. I was told and believed to move up to the front part of the box. I would try and scuff this line right here out. The theory, there's a fastball right there. The theory is you get it before it knuckles. So if you scratch that out, then you can try and step out of the box a little bit. I used to make sure that line got a little bigger. Charlie Huff used to get mad because he said I was out of the box. And I needed to be.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Or you can wait till you get 2 strikes. That's another method to the madness. But I was talking about we're looking at Dickey, the slow pitch softball. Many of you have played that game. You know you have to let that ball travel. Oh, there's a bullet. Got the heater.
So a 1-out single for Cameron Maben.
Gets ahead in the count, 2-1. Brings the fastball, 81 miles an hour, out over the middle of the plate. Actually, it looks like it ran in late, but Maben is ready. Got that quick bat going today.
Tigers had their first hit of the afternoon. That'll bring up Miguel Cabrera, who's had a couple of hits in the series. 2 out of 12 for Miggy, and he'll look at a strike on the inside part of the plate.
Dickey has a very good balk move to first base. Very quick. Picked a lot of guys off. He'll break that front knee before he throws over. It is a balk. They don't call it very often.
Ground ball, base hit, left field, out of the reach of a diving Tulowitzki. And so the Tigers have something going early here. 2 on, nobody out.
Good sign right there. A couple of knocks, find a hole. Just out of Tulo's reach.
Well, Dickey had one of his better outings in his last start, beating the Royals with 8 strikeouts over 7 innings, an 8-3 victory. The Tigers trying to score first early against him today. Victor Martinez at 309 had the big home run yesterday, and V-Mart sends a ground ball off Dickey. It'll roll to third base, and Barney will throw him out with a barehanded play.
Well, it's good it hit Dickey on the foot, because it probably was a double play if it didn't hit him. Tigers move runners up, second, third, now 2 down. Ball's going to be right to Tulo. You can see him back there in the background. Instead, right over to Barney. Puts Victor away.
That ball was hit right to Tulowitzki, which it would have ended the inning. Now we'll see if Castellanos can take advantage of it. Nick with a 6-game hitting streak is batting .306. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
Again, watch the speeds of these knuckleballs. That's 77. He'll throw them a little higher than that. They tend to slow the pitch down if they get behind, because they have to aim it more so. They don't want quite as volatile as a movement. That was a tough one there. Also, the gloves change on catchers. We'll get in on Tolley's glove. They try to put a combination catcher's first base glove together. Makes it easier to catch.
There's a drive to right that's going to go foul down the line and back out of play. There are some catchers that view catching a knuckleball pitcher as an absolute nightmare.
Oh, it is. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. It looks kind of like a first baseman's glove. No, catcher's gloves do have dimensions that they have to stay within as well. I don't know. In the old days, when they'd come to your place and they were the road team, we'd send guys in there to measure the gloves up.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that is that. First strikeout of the ball game for Dickey. The Tigers will strand 2, and we go to the bottom of the first. Failed to score. We go to the bottom of the first here in Toronto, and Anibal Sanchez today presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Yeah, this is 13th start so far for Anibal. Has not been a good season. Looking for some confidence. He's got so many different pitches. I just think he needs to do what has worked for the Tigers. I like his curveball. I like his changeup moving off the plate, and I think that will set up his fastball on the plate. Get a little confidence before he goes into the All-Star break. Everybody gets a rest to start a brutal season, second half of the season.
Carrero swings on the first pitch and flies it to left field. It'll be Upton coming in. 1 pitch, 1 out. There's the rest of the lineup for the Jays, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. You saw Carrera. They've got Donaldson and Saunders. No Encarnacion today. He is serving a suspension for bumping an ump. Tulowitzki, Pilar, Travis, Smoke, Darwin Barney, who's been good at home this year, and Josh Tolley. So no Encarnacion, bit of an advantage today for the Tigers.
Yeah, remember what I told you about those umpire confrontations? The umpires they get real close to you. So if you think about getting close to them, you're gonna almost always bump them, and they say right away, "You bumped me." Encarnacion fell prey.
Yeah, he got 1 game suspension. He dropped his appeal today. He's serving it today. Donaldson the batter, and he looks at a ball low.
Could be a convenient "I'll serve that suspension," and oh, there's an early flight.
I'll just take that early flight.
Yeah, oh, there's a flight. Whoever he may be going.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. On the outer edge, 1-2 on Donaldson. 3 for 10 in the series for Donaldson.
See his last 8 games, pretty hot. 3 home runs, .464 average.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, and Donaldson swings and misses. Down he goes. First strikeout of the ball game for Sanchez. 2 gone.
Well, he misses his spot here, but I like the location he comes in off the plate. Donaldson probably looking out over the plate. Good strike right on the inside corner. That'll set up some good confrontations later in the game.
Here's Michael Saunders back in the starting lineup this afternoon. Saunders hitting .300. He's had a good series, 4 out of 9, double, 3 runs scored.
He's just having a great year altogether. It's been very uneven production from Michael Saunders. A lot was expected of him. Hasn't lived up to others' expectations, but this year he has.
Well, Saunders spent 6 years in Seattle and was a .231 career batter for Seattle, but he's up to .300 this year.
Didn't he kind of get a negative comment by the GM over there in Seattle?
He did.
Said he
made
a comment wasn't too nice. I think Saunders took exception to that and having a good year this year to prove that his GM was wrong.
That's outside, and the count goes 2-1. Waiting on deck is Troy Tulowitzki. So no Bautista, who's on the DL, and no Encarnacion, who is serving his 1-game suspension. That's driven toward left field. Upton is there to the warning track to make the catch. It'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Anibal Sanchez. No score, and the Tigers and Jays wrapping up this series. Jays right now in a dogfight in the American League East. They are tied with Boston, 2 games behind the Orioles, who have won 50 games this year as well.
Yeah, this is a good division in both Central and the East, shaping up to very good races coming down the stretch, and it gets competitive for that last wild cards opportunity. Everybody's looking forward to the break, though.
Justin Upton looks at ball 1. It'll be Upton, Aviles, and McCann facing R.A. Dickey, who surrendered singles to Maben and Cabrera. The Tigers could not score, though.
And boy, Jay, up, stay off that. You got to be looking heater right here.
Dickey in his last start threw a grand total of 8 fastballs in that game, as you might expect, mostly knucklers. 2-0 is hammered to third. On a hop right there is Darwin Barney.
Threw him another knuckler, didn't he?
He did.
Champ was thinking fastball, but he got the knuckler. Actually threw it. It was a pretty good one as well.
Here's Mike Aviles. Aviles getting the start in right field today as Brad decides to go with Aviles over Steven Moya, who started yesterday.
I think probably a couple reasons. One is Aviles got some experience. He's got real good numbers, 3 for 6 off of Dickey. And also Moya does not have that experience. And then the other aspect is defense. Anibal Sanchez, you think you might want a little more coverage out there in the outfield, so you probably go with Aviles versus Dickey.
0-2, strike 3 call to the outside corner. Aviles didn't like it. It looked away.
You can see the knuckleball grip. Look at, there's no spin on there at all. That actually looked like it cut across the plate.
Yeah.
It did. It got the corner.
Good call. Paul Nart, your home plate umpire today. 2 outs. Here is James McCann. Mentioned that in his last start, Dickey struck out 8 Kansas City Royals. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
Again, those knuckleballs are pretty hard as knuckleballs go. Like Tim Wakefield, he used to throw them way slower. 77 mile per hour.
So who were the knuckleball pitchers you faced in your day? Charlie Huff?
Yeah, Huff, Necros, Wakefield, Candiotti. Who am I missing? Another. I had huge numbers against Candiotti, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
2 balls and 1 strike.
But there were more of them when they got Wright, and they got Dickey. And who else is a knuckleballer now in the game?
High fly ball, center field, hit pretty good. That ball going back to the track, going to the wall. Leaping catch, Kevin Pillar. McCann hit it really well, but fell just a little short at the 400 marker. 1, 2, 3, go the Tigers.
Second, let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health. Jay Up, Cam Maven, and Mike Aviles across the outfield. Nick Castellanos at third base, Iglesias and Kinsler up the middle. Miguel Cabrera again at first base. James McCann again catching Anibal Sanchez today. And hopefully they're running everything down and make some good plays, and somebody gets the big hit like all the other games. The Tigers roll out of here with a 2-2 series tie.
Here is Troy Tulowitzki to lead it off. He'll foul the first one back.
Where are you running from?
I'm not going anywhere. I'm sitting right here. What are you talking about?
I thought it was coming right to you. That was at you, not me. I mean, that was right there.
And I was waiting
the closest one of the year.
With my hands right there.
Yeah, you ran like a chicken.
Tulowitzki, Pillar, and Travis.
I'm not talking about a rooster.
There's a ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And you were on that quick.
Dude, I couldn't backpedal quick enough to get out of the way of that one. It's about the first one I've seen come up this high. Ooh, that's hammered down the line. It's going to go to the corner and to the wall. J.Up gets it quickly, and they're going to hold him to a single.
Attaboy, J.Up. I think this is this a straight change? Because we've thrown him 2 changeups. That's like a hanging breaking ball right there. Up out over the heart of the plate. J.Up gets a good bounce right here, and he's got his body in great position. Tulo has to hold up. Now let's get the double play ball.
Kevin Pillar will stand in. That is the first Blue Jays hit of the afternoon. Pillar batting .263. Strike one on the inside part of the plate. Sanchez had a quick 1-2-3 first with a couple of fly balls and a strikeouts. Anibals last start on July 5th in Cleveland. He gave up 5 hits, 7 runs in 4 1/3.
Got to work on getting the ball down, get the ground ball. When you lose your confidence, it's sometimes very hard to stay with your belief, because you start every game, you work your bullpens, you feel good about it. All of a sudden something happens, you get a guy on base, maybe you get a bad break, and then you get reeling again. You got to fight through it, make a pitch right here, and get rolling.
There are the numbers in that start to the Indians. He also walked 4 in that game, and the base on balls have been an issue this year for Sanchez. That'll miss low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Kevin Pillar.
Well, before that pitch, it was 6 out of 10 strikes. I was going to say he's thrown quite a few strikes. Missed that one right there. 15 pitches, 10 are strikes.
Now the 1-2 inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The one alarming stat against Sanchez is that righties are batting .306 against him. Tulowitzki had a leadoff single here in the second. He'll draw a throw.
Yeah, lefty's only .273. But this breaking ball, the one he hung to Tulowitzki, stay with it. You just got to get it down. Got to force. You can't just stop throwing it. It's worked against this Toronto team.
Down the right field line, slicing foul. Out of play. Another big crowd here this afternoon. Better than 40,000 each of the first 3. Will get there again today, it appears.
This one looks bigger than any of them.
Yeah, they had the ceremony before the game. The 40th season of Blue Jays baseball. Some of the greats coming back.
Yeah, I remember competing against a lot of these guys.
A lot of big names coming back today. Carter, Alomar, Bell.
Michigan's Pat Hinken. Saw him in the house today. Eddie Sprague. Johnny Mack, who was a Tiger. Remember, he hit the home run the day his father died. And
remember?
Said he was going to hit a home run for his dad and did it.
He didn't hit many.
No, he didn't at all. And that's an incredible feat just for him to hit one. To call it out like that is very powerful. He later went on to coached him down in Arizona as well. Real good player. He's going to be a coach someday. One of those guys that was kind of a quiet needler, like somebody else I know.
You?
Figured you'd say that.
Actually, you're a loud needler.
I
2-2.
I don't hold back.
Now the fans are getting on Sanchez now for throwing to first.
This Sunday booing is a little more aggressive.
It is.
So I guess that was a polite crowd on Thursday.
There's a line drive, base hit, right center field. Back-to-back singles for the Blue Jays here in the second. 2 on, nobody out.
Well, Pillar, you know he wants to use the middle of the field, especially when he's got a couple of strikes on him. Looking for the ground ball. This ball's just elevated a little too much. Now first and second, nobody down.
Here is Devin Travis, who is batting .262, homered in the ball game yesterday. It was a big one late, a home run in the 7th inning to tie it up. But the Tigers came right back on the V-Mart homer.
Curveball here would be good. Remember last night how many first pitch curveballs we were seeing on the last couple nights actually. Blue Jays pretty much took all of them except for Encarnacion on the Friday night game. Remember he missed that first one, hit a home run, and hit a fastball after that.
Yeah.
And it's a good pitch against these Blue Jays. In general, they're going to take it. You want to throw that get me over curveball for a strike. Get that free strike. But however, he has 6 of 6 in first pitch strikes.
Travis now down on the count 0-2. Blue Jays in this series just 6 for 32 with runners in scoring position, yet they've won the first, well, 2 of the first 3. Tigers have a chance to have a really good road trip with a win here today.
They do. I mean, even if they lose, 6 and 5 in that road trip is okay.
Swing and a miss, down he goes.
Attaboy Sanchi gets ahead. Again elevating. Really sticking with his fastball. Looks like James McCann and Anibal Sanchez have a plan to throw a lot of strikes.
Stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. Well, with 1 out, here is Justin Smoak. Ball 1. Who are you going with, Tigers player of the game?
Aviles.
Who?
Aviles.
I'm going to go with Jay Up. He's going to hit his 200th homer today.
You're going for the storybook.
I am. Smoak just 1 for 9 in the series.
And they've been getting him out right up in here.
Rolled foul.
Got him to chase. You get ahead in the count. Let's see if they go up in there again. You know, after you play in a series, especially a 4-game series, you have your scouting reports. And a lot of that comes off data and numbers, and you watch tape. But you really don't have the ability to filter like real time. Now after you've seen these 4 games, you have a really good idea where you can get guys out, what adjustments you want to make. You got to hit the spots though.
Just missed his spot there.
Good pitch. Only 3 for 20 versus the Tigers in 5 games this year. Justin Smoak does have a home run. 8 strikeouts on 20 ABs.
Smoak in this series has struck out 5 times in 9 at bats, but Sanchez falling behind 3-1.
See, he doesn't have confidence in that curveball right now. Not able to get it over. It's hard pitching that way. He's going to have to come with the fastball. Catcher going to try and encourage him not to just lay it in there.
And he walked him, ball 4. They're loaded up with 1 out. Well, this is the biggest out of the game right now for Sanchez, because you've got Josh Thole waiting on deck, and he's batting just 120. You got to get Barney though, who's batting 297.
Darwin's dangerous. He's the kind of guy, he's hard to defend. You know, he can go the other way with it. He can pull one down the corner. He may be aggressive. He may make you throw him a couple strikes.
Outside 1-0. Tulowitzki started it off with a base hit, then Pilar with a single, and Smoak is at first after a walk.
Let's get 2 right here.
Swing and a miss. 1-1 on Darwin Barney.
Yeah, good idea trying to start Barney out with that breaking ball, but again, he cannot get it over for strikes. So he had to come with the fastball there, got away with it. He'll keep trying to revisit that. You watch him come out for the next inning, I bet you'll throw a lot of breaking balls in his warm-ups.
A little outside, says Paul Nart. 2-1.
Just kind of watching Annabelle. Looks like he's flying open a little bit with that front shoulder. Arm gets behind. Can't get the curveball out front. By inning, 9 pitches in the first. Already 21 here in the second for a total of 30.
Two and two. Barney had his 7-game hitting streak ended in the ballgame last night or yesterday, but still a relatively hot hitter. And he does well here at home. 345 at Rogers Center.
2 for 10. I'm sorry, 0 for 6 against Annabelle.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Barney is out of there, and a huge strikeout early for Sanchez.
Really is got the target right there. Good, some late life on that pitch right there. Got a little tail on it if you watch it. Actually ends up middle, but surprised Barney with a little extra life on the fastball. Threw it right by him.
Here's Josh Thole now with 2 outs. Bases stay loaded. A 120 batting average for Thole. Swing and a miss. Thole 1 home run this year, 1 RBI. That's it. Way outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sanchez starting today. Boyd started yesterday. A couple of injuries to the Tigers rotation. Norris and Zimmerman. Fouled away. Now he's got him in a 1-2 count.
I think he's going to pretty much stay with that fastball. The breaking ball has not worked. Cutter was flat. And they have not caught up to it yet in this inning. So I guess you have the best location with the heater. You should stay with it. Don't try and trick him.
Here's the 1-2. Fouled away. Sanchez again coming back with the fastball. Waiting on deck, top of the order, Ezequiel Carrera.
I think J-Up, just the way you're reading, you see J-Up, he's already moved in, but I might cheat in this area just a little bit because Thole has been late on every fastball. Make sure you get a blooper if it comes there, especially here it's coming in.
2-2.
If he gets that in for a strike, Thole hits it, it's probably going to be a little jam shot out to left field. When you're an outfielder, you're an infielder, you just got to read these swings. You got to make these fine adjustments. Like I said, 4 games you watch the swings.
Driven toward right field. That ball's going to get down, a base hit. Nearly over the head of Mike Aviles. 2 runs will score. To third base goes Smoke, and it's a 2-out, 2-run hit for Josh Thole.
Well, he wants to double it up inside. You see where he's setting up right there. See, here's where he wants it. He wants it in there again. Go ahead, let it run. It's going to run right back over the plate. That's a mistake, and Thole makes Sanchez and the Tigers pay for it. 2 runs come in.
Only the 2nd and 3rd RBIs of the year for Thole. Here is Carrera.
I mean, how many pitches did Thole foul off? 4?
Enough to get 1 he can handle.
Yeah, he spoiled it.
Carrera flying to left in his first at bat. High fly foul down the right field line. 1 ball and 1 strike. Smoke at third base. And Tully, who just delivered the 2-run single at first. That ball also nearly bounced over the head of Mike Aviles.
And that wouldn't have been good. Good job. And when you get the sun on the turf was like this, ball's going to bounce higher.
Now the 1-1. 1-2 now on Carrera.
Yeah, I think Carrera likes the heater. I don't think he's as good as an off-speed pitch hitter. Again, gonna have to find a way to get your feel on it, get it out front, get some depth on it. It's a change of speed. Don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's what works.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Good changeup.
There you go. So the inning is over, but they score a couple of runs on the big hit by Josh Thole, and we go to the third. Well, here in Toronto today, they're celebrating 40 years of baseball here in Toronto, and a lot of the stars from yesteryear coming back, and some of these guys maybe look like they can still go out there and get it done.
Yeah, they look that way, but it'd be a little tough. George Bell, Robbie Alomar. Cito was a heck of a manager here, boy. He had great success while he was here.
First one is in for a strike on Iglesias.
Many didn't feel like he got enough credit for what he did, really.
Yeah.
Brought him back a couple times.
That's hammered down a line to center field. Going to be caught by Pilar. One gone. Hard hit ball by Iglesias. We'll bring up Ian Kinsler now. It brings us to the Bernstein advantage. The pitcher-batter matchup. These are updated numbers against R.A. Dickey. 364.
3 dingers to go with 364 average.
Dickey had a 1-2-3 second. He's retired the first man here in the third. Kinsler hits one high in the air to shallow center field. Pilar calling. 2 up, 2 down. Checking down with Trevor Thompson. T.
Well, Mario, Cameron Maybin steps to the plate right now, and the All-Star break is coming up. I asked him what his plans were. He said he's going back to North Carolina, but he's also going to have his dad join him in throwing batting practice over the break. He said he wants to stay sharp for the second half, and his motto is no days off. So Cameron Maybin will be working hard on his swing to help the Tigers in the second half when it resumes after the break. Back to you guys.
Yeah, if I was swinging like him, I wouldn't want to stop either. He's trying to preserve what he's got. He's had a heck of a first half of the season. And Cam Maybin is I don't want to say he's a workout freak, but he works out a lot. He's had to force himself to back off just a little bit. because he usually works out, you know, at least 6 days a week, and he told me his legs started to get a little heavy, so he backed off a little bit, 2 days a week, maybe 3. You still do your dynamic warm-ups every day, and that's kind of brought some new life to his legs.
Here's the 0-2. Line drive to left, base hit. He's 2 for 2.
Another knock.
Maybe it's one of those guys we were talking about yesterday, Gibby, where you kind of hate to see the break because he's been so hot, and hence the BP over the All-Star break, I guess.
Absolutely, smart thing to do. You see the knuckler, it's a real slow one. Look at up in the zone. He hit it right off the end of the bat. Kind of season he's having, the balls of doubt are falling in for him.
Here's Cabrera now. He's singled in his first at bat. Runner goes. Tolley with a late throw. It's going to be tardy and a stolen base. Tigers have been much more aggressive in the last 2 games in this series.
Yeah, it's got to take advantage. You get on, and I told you, Dickey has a good balk move. He hasn't thrown over there, but you're going to see some throws after Maben blows their cover, their aggressive cover for today. In there safely, easily.
You know, that was the first stolen base allowed by R.A. Dickey in 35 starts.
Yeah, he's tough. But again, you hope that the knuckleball's knuckling. It makes it tough for the catcher to get a clean catch and delivery.
Rolled foul, and the count on Miggy now is 1-2. Victor Martinez waiting on deck. 2-0. Jays have the lead. We're in the 3rd. Just out of the glove of Tolley, who could not hang on to it. Miggy's still alive. Cabrera came into this game batting just .222 in the month of July. He has been slowed, especially after having a big June.
We can look into this glove pretty good here on second base. You can get a real good view. There's the knuckle.
Swing and a miss, struck him out.
And he changed it to a heater.
Cabrera down on strikes. R.A. Dickey gets his 3rd strikeout of the game.
That's a knuckler. That's a hard knuckler. Uh-oh.
The big money encounter brought to you by Menards. A lot of banners flying in this ballpark. And here's a look at the 40 years of history in Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Yeah, the 2 biggies, 2 World Series, 92 and 93. 6 AL East Division titles. That Eastern Division has not been easy. It's been a really successful franchise.
Yeah, when the Blue Jays were putting up a lot of their numbers in terms of getting banners, they were going through a division that was very good. Donaldson, the batter here. He'll take a ball outside. 1-1.
Boston, Yankees, Tigers, Blue Jays. Was it Cleveland?
Cleveland, yep.
When they first came in?
Yep.
Cleveland was on a turnaround back then, and they were struggling in that old ballpark. You ever been down? Did you call some games in there?
Nope, never made it to the Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. Nope.
Right on the lake, about 85,000 could get in there. It was big and round, and there's about 3,000 to 5,000 people in there in the early 80s.
Swing and a miss on 3-0. Donaldson may have gotten McCann on the backswing as well, and McCann has already gotten dinged up a couple of times in this game.
Having a little conversation, but you know the catcher wants. Well, you got him on the back of the hand. That hurts. Catcher wants to get up there and get close. Ooh. And that hurt.
Fouled away, 3-2.
You want to get right up close. You got a better chance of catching a foul ball if you're closer to the bat. He's gotten back a little bit, I'm sure.
Pulled toward third out of the reach of Castellanos in the left. So Donaldson is aboard with a leadoff single here in the third.
See Casty right there. It spells hit very firmly, very sharp. No chance. Can't get on it. Leadoff single for the Blue Jays.
Michael Saunders lined out to left field in his first at bat. Jays now have 4 hits against Sanchez.
I'm going to keep an eye on Donaldson over there. Six bags, has not been caught this year. So he's like a sneak attacker.
Strike 1 on Saunders.
Of course, James McCann leading the league, all major leagues, 57% caught stealing percentage. All-time Sanchez this time. See what kind of opportunity Donaldson would have of getting there. They say McCann's about a 1.9, 1.95 from the time he catches the ball to the time he hits the glove at second base, which is a little below above average, but the accuracy is what's impressive. So accurate every time.
Yeah, you hear the pop times, and that's just one way of measuring it, because if your pop time is great but the throw is not on the bag or is not a very good throw, then that number really doesn't mean a whole lot.
Yeah, with McCann and catchers, I do what I call a tag time. That's the time that it actually, the tag, instead of measuring to the glove, you go to the tag. Sanchez is over 1.3. He's like a 1.35, 1.38, which is usually very runnable.
2-1 on Saunders. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
I'm watching Sanchez. I told you I think he's flying open just a little bit. Watch how far he's tucking this shoulder this way. I think he might become a little too far, and then he gets behind and the front shoulder flies this way on the pitch.
Ground ball to first. Miggy has it. He'll go to second. One relay to first.
Nice.
Is a double play. 3-6-3. To empty the bases. 2 gone.
So those pitches you're seeing him missing up and away arm side, he's just not getting there. But he makes a good pitch right here, gets the double play ball. Miggy with the accurate throw. Iglesias easily back to Miggy. Again, 2. Tigers have turned some double plays in this series.
Here's Tulowitzki. Single run scored back in the second. Came in on a 2-out 2-run single by Tolle.
It's a better curveball.
One ball, 1 strike. Tulowitzki now 4 for 13 in the series. And since coming off the disabled list, 20 RBIs in 19 games off the DL. He'll drive that one to the corner. That's going to get down. Another hit to Tulowitzki. And once again, Upton will get there quickly and hold him to a single off the wall. 2 outs, a man aboard now. Time for a game break with Johnny Kane. All right, Johnny, thanks. Here it is 2-0 Toronto as Kevin Pillar stands in with 2 outs. He'll look at a strike 0-1. Jays now have 5 hits. Tigers' best case scenario can go into the break 5.5 behind Cleveland if they win here today and the Tribe loses.
That would be a good feel, you know, all the frustration, and I know there's been some bad streaks, but if you could go back, come back at 5.5 back, that would be excellent.
Well, of course, everyone felt bad about losing the first 2 in Cleveland. Then they won that final game. That's fouled back out of play. But if you can win today and win 7 of 11 on this trip heading into the All-Star break, I mean, that's about as good as you could have imagined.
It's very good. I mean, I was looking at the calendar. They got KC and Minnesota coming back. Then they got the White Sox, who's division. Boston is playing good. Houston's a very good team. The White Sox again, then the Yankees. So this is going to be, they do go out to Seattle and Texas. That'll be a tough trip. And KC and Boston at home. So they're going to be playing some really good teams, and teams that are going to have a lot of impact on their season.
I think we're done with the Yankees. That's the Mets coming in August.
The New York Mets,
yeah.
You're right. That's interleague.
0-2 the count on Kevin Pillar. Rolled foul.
You can always count on it. Keep the facts right.
What I'm here for. Sometimes I get them right.
Guess you got up a little earlier and checked your facts than I did.
That's unlikely.
You're right.
I will ever get up before you do in the morning.
Okay, you got a little more sleep than I did.
Yeah.
I still have to deal with that excited to get up deal.
2 outs, runner at first base. Sanchez trying to get Pillar here to get back into the dugout. And he'll miss inside. 1-2. Sanchez this year as a starter, his ERA is 7, above 7 actually. As a reliever, it's under 3.
That's small sample though.
Very small. Little bounce low, and the count now 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I see him trying to do the right thing, but he's just having a real tough time getting his secondary pitches over. Boy, if he finds it, he's going to give the Tigers what they need. The guys are already looking for trade deadline stuff, and Tigers may have their guy right here. Another change. That's just 3 off-speed pitches in a row, unable to get the ball over.
That'll make it 3-2, which means Tulowitzki will be on the run here with 2 outs. 8 pitch at bat for Kevin Pillar. Foul back.
I should start counting foul balls. They've fouled a lot of pitches off already this game. Up to 65 pitches already for Sanchez.
And that was after a very snappy 9-pitch first. You can see that second inning really took it out of him a bit. 33 pitches and 2 runs. And a drive to center field. That's going to get down, the base hit. Maybin comes over to play it. And Tulowitzki will cruise into third base, and now runners at first and third.
You see the spin on it. It's spinning, but there's no depth. It's just on the side of that ball a little too much. Right up the center of the diamond right here. Good approach by Pillar. Just like last inning, got first and third. Sanchez is going to have to make a pitch here. Devin Travis better.
Travis struck out in his last at bat. He has hit safely at 19 of his last 22. And Pilar will draw a throw. 7 steals this year for Pilar. Popped him up. That'll get him out of the jam as Kinsler goes back. And the side retired. No runs. 3 hits, 2 left. 3 in the books in Toronto. Top of the Tigers here as we go to the 4th inning. Victor Martinez will stand in.
Yeah, and he got into one yesterday after being 0 for 10. Down in the count 0-2. Devin Travis had just tied the game up for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the inning. Top of the 8th. B-Mart goes deep. It holds up 3-2. Tigers get the win.
First 1-2. Martinez outside 1-0. Victor hit a ball right back off of R.A. Dickey in the first. And then was thrown out on the play. Here's a strike called 1-1. Dickey now 10 of 13 in first pitch strikes. Little pop up. That's going to be caught by Darwin Barney. That was too low. They had the switch on the shift.
Yeah, Barney was over on the right side of the diamond.
So that'll be a pop up to 6 in your scorebook.
So no matter who's playing where, like if the third baseman was playing first base, it would be P5 if it was a pop up over to the first base side.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, huh?
Doesn't matter where they are on the field. That's flared to right field. Carrera. That's an F9. 2 gone.
Obviously. Sarcastic.
Who, me?
You. You must be ready to get home.
Well, I'd like us to score a couple of runs first and win this game. Then we can go.
Yeah. But I mean with that sarcasm.
Oh.
Bet you're going to be a little sweeter when you hit the doorway.
Just a tad. Here's Upton. Justin bounced out his first time up.
Got to take at least a pitch, maybe a strike here. Can't let Dickey get out of this inning that quickly, and you got to give your own pitcher Sanchez a rest.
Ripped right to the third baseman Barney. He hit it hard, but hit it right at him.
Rocket.
Quick inning. 6-pitch inning for R.A. Dickey. Tigers 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the fourth, and you can get a ticket to see the Tigers take on the Royals July 15th at 7:10 p.m. plus a 16-ounce Miller Lite for as low as $19. It's the Friday night party package. Visit tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER.
That's going to be a good series. I saw the Royals advanced scouts in here before the game. They're doing their mock-up and wondering who's going to be in the starting rotation. We now know that that's going to be Verlander, Pelfrey, and then Fulmer. Is that what we heard?
That's correct. That's the three coming out of the All-Star break.
So things always change. You remember way back about two and a half weeks ago, they were talking about Fulmer getting backed off. It had to change things a little bit.
Yeah, he was supposed to be in the 5th spot out of the rotation coming out of the break, but now he's been bumped up to 3rd. Here's the 2-1 pitch. 2-2 on Smoke. It'll be the bottom 3 here against Sanchez.
I do know that Fulmer has not picked up a baseball till today and played catch. So that's one of the part of the program as well, getting some rest.
What a golden arm he has. 2-2, strike 3. See you later.
Yeah, you want to keep it that way. Good pitch there by Sanchez. Looks like the fastball grip, just running right there in the corner. Gets the call.
Ooh, boy, did he.
That's Paul Nauert back there, and he's sitting way on the inside part of the plate. That's why their umpires are generally more accurate on the inside pitch if they're setting up inside. Oh, breaking ball's getting better. We watched Sanchez in between innings, threw a couple breaking balls and threw them nicely. So it looks like it's coming right there. A little more break, not overthrowing it as much.
Darwin Barney struck out in the 2nd. Sanchez has 5 strikeouts in this game. Barney is 4 for 12 in the series. We'll drive that one foul back out of play.
.75 total. Only in the bottom of the 4th, but you just get as much out of him as you can. Everybody's available. Everybody's going to have a big rest ahead of them.
Here's the 1-2. Bouncing ball right side. Kinsler back to the outfield turf, and he throws him out. 2 away. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Sanchi had that 33 pitch second, which is right now the longest half inning he's had.
Yeah, quick out right here would be much needed. Quick inning.
Josh Thole had the 2-run single to provide the Jays with their 2-0 lead. R.A. Dickey's personal catcher has also provided him with 2 runs. He'll pull that one foul. One ball, 1 strike. Two and 1. Thole came over from the Mets with R.A. Dickey in the trade a couple of years ago. Noah Syndergaard went the other way in that deal. That's high now, and he goes 3 and 1.
Well, there's an example there. He just really flew open on that left shoulder, that front shoulder. That arm drags behind the delivery. Up and away.
And he lost him. Didn't want to do that.
Nope. Here's our high-speed pitch, brought to you by Xfinity. 93 on the fastball, 75-mile-an-hour curveball. The low.
Here's Ezequiel Carrera. Struck out his last time up. And Carrera looks at a strike, 0-1. He's had a pretty good year this year. In fact, one of the better years of his career. His walks are up. He's even hit 4 home runs this season, which is a career high.
He likes the straight fastball. I know that. Not so good on the off speed.
0-2.
Good time to bounce one. Totally a sneak attack you too here with an 0-2 count. Leadoff hitter up. Could be a good situation. Not a big lead though.
Fouled away. Yeah, if he gets thrown out, then Carrera gets a fresh count next inning.
Yeah, you got your leadoff guy up. You can see Tolley's kind of walking off. He's got a short lead. And he kind of walks off, trying to time Sanchez in his hold times.
Slice to left. That's going to get down. Base hit. So Carrera keeps the inning going.
I didn't like this pitch right here. We've been talking. I think he's a good fastball hitter. He's an 0-2 count. He's thrown him all fastballs. And Carrera just serves it out to left center field. Nevertheless, first and second, 2 down.
Now you got to deal with Donaldson.
Yeah, the MVP.
7 hits now for the Blue Jays. Donaldson couldn't hold up. 0-1. Single and a strikeout. He's been on base now in 19 consecutive games for the Blue Jays.
This guy plays the game hard.
High, towering fly to left field. Upton going back. He looks up and it's gone.
Well, it's another fastball. I don't get it. This guy's one of the best hitters in the game. I believe that's 5 straight fastballs in a row to the last 2 hitters. He missed his target as well. This is the guy you don't want to make that mistake to, and he takes it out of the yard. Tigers now down 5-0 here in the bottom of the fourth.
His speed at 108 for Donaldson, and while that home run was the big hit, the biggest at bat of the inning was the 2-out walk to number 9 hitter Tolle.
Then the 0-2 hit by Carrera.
5-0 Blue Jays as Saunders fouls it off.
Yeah, the dreaded 2-out walk, that's for sure.
Josh Donaldson becoming one of 6 players now to have scored 80 runs and hit 20 homers prior to the All-Star break. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. The others were Gehrig, Frank Thomas, Reggie Jackson, Ted Williams, and A-Rod. And Dustin Mulligan now warming up in the bullpen. Here's the 2-1. Two and 2 on Michael Saunders. 3-run homer by Josh Donaldson, his 23rd of the year. Ooh, look out, there goes the bat, swing and a miss to strike him out. That'll take care of the Jays, not before damage is done. A 2-out 3-run shot by Josh Donaldson. That is 5-0. DHing the last couple of days, and the rest has apparently done him some good. A 3-run homer to make it a 5-0 game now as we go to the top of the 5th here at Rogers Center.
Well, we've talked about it yesterday. I had some conversation with Josh, and he just talks about how he knows he's going to be gotten by the opposing pitcher, but when they make a mistake, he knows he can get him, and there's an example right there. Ball was out over the plate, and he just pounds it.
23rd home run of the year already for Donaldson. 63 RBIs. Mike Aviles the batter. It'll be Aviles, McCann, Iglesias. Little pop-up foul. Out of play. 1-2 the count.
I know that inning's got to frustrate everybody watching, and the Tigers as well. All Tiger fans, but you know you got to get it back on the horse. Here we are at the top of the 5th. Got to score.
Slice to right center field. That's going to get down. Base hit. And it's going to get by Pilar and go to the wall. Aviles will hit the bag at second, going for 3. He's going to get there. It's a triple for Mike Aviles.
Well, down 5-0. He does get it to Gapper. And you could hear the crowd when the play was going on because they had a shot at getting him at third. Avila's very aggressive, which we all like. But you're going to watch over top here. They're going to miss this cutoff man right here. If they hit the cutoff man, the first guy, we've got a real shot at him. But this is the importance, and he drops the ball there. See how it goes over the trailer's head right there? That wasn't a very good job of telestrating. That's my absolute worst of the career. Tried to do it in play. Yeah.
Career?
Yeah, career. 7-year telestrator career. Gosh dang.
Well,
like you.
You try to do it on the run, and that's awfully difficult.
Tried to do it on the run standing up.
Here's McCann now trying to get this run in.
Definitely got to get him in now.
Flat out deep to center field in his first at bat. Checked it, and he did not go. So says Andy Fletcher down at first. A triple by Avilos is the fourth Tigers hit of the game. They're down 5-0 here in the 5th inning. A little bit outside, 2-1.
Can's been swinging the bat much better as of late. Talked a little bit about he's tried to calm his hands down. The biggie is the leg kick. You can just watch that front leg. Doesn't kick up like it used to.
Low, now he's gone to 3-1. Dickey has lost 9 games this year. 6 of them have come here at home. He's only 1-6 here at Rogers Center. That's in for a strike. 3-2. First time Dickey has gone to a full count in this game.
Yeah, he's going to get a knuckleball here. Didn't want that run to score.
Ground ball right side, and it'll get the run in. McCann is out. He'll get an RBI. Avila scores to make it 5-1.
Well, it's a start. Good at bat. Gets to 3-2. Gets the hard knuckler. Stays on top of it. Would like to got a hit out of that, but you do get a productive out. Get an RBI. Tigers get on the board. It's 5-1.
23rd RBI of the year now for McCann. Bases empty. That'll bring up Iglesias. Hit a ball hard to center in his first at bat. He lined right to Kevin Pillar. Drops down a bunt, but it's going to go foul. He had Barney deep at third. Good idea, but
great idea.
Couldn't drop it inside the line.
Yeah, Iggy's been working on this. It's just sometimes when you watch people trying to bunt, they get in a hurry, so you got to take your time. The third baseman's already back. He does a good job. Just got to get it fair. He tries to get that base hit out of it. Sometimes you rush it a little bit. You sacrifice your accuracy. These things are all much harder to do within a game than we all think they are. I promise you that. Trying to hold your cover real late, and then you're trying to get a good bunt down and run at the same time.
1-2 on Iglesias.
81-mile-an-hour knuckler right there. That's, you don't see that very often.
Ground ball to short. Right into the glove of Tulowitzki. 2 gone. Time now for T-Mobile's greater coverage of baseball. Some of the top first half performances in Gibby we have seen firsthand what Michael Fulmer's all about.
He's been outstanding. Remember, he started with the 33 1/3 scoreless streak. That's the longest by a rookie since Fernando, and he was pretty good. Max Scherzer striking out 20 batters in a 9-inning game again. That was May 11th tie. And the 14-game win streak by the Indians put some distance between the top and the bottom in the division. However, Tigers only 6.5 back right now.
Ian Kinsler is 0 for 2, ground out, fly out. One around.
I think the Tigers are just hoping you can hang on here and get Norris back, get Zimmerman back, get JD Martinez back. That's 3 really good players, so now your depth is back in play.
There's a line drive to center, and it's going to get by Pilar. He tried to make the catch. Kinsler is going to hit the bag at second, and he's going to come to third, and Ian is in there safely. That'll be a triple for Kinsler. Second triple of the inning.
Well, he almost made a great catch here, and he's trying to play goalie right here. Ball goes in between his legs. He's got to get up and kind of take the run of shame right there. It's not a good feeling if you're an outfielder and this happens. But he hustles back there and gets it in. So you're thinking inside the Parker when something like that happens, but Pilar got back there, got it in quickly. Ian with the 2-out triple.
Second triple in the inning for the Tigers. Here's Maben now trying to get him 1 run closer, and a ball high.
Cam Maben hitting well over 400 with runners in scoring position, so he's the right guy to have up there. 2 for 2 today already, a stolen base, so he's been active.
Two and 0. You got Cabrera waiting on deck.
It's hard to believe that Tolley hasn't missed one yet. The highest batting average runners in scoring position this year, Maben, 441. 40 plate appearances, the minimum to filter that information.
Shattered bat, splintered at least.
Yeah, that's the end of those bats are like cupped out. You ever looked at those bats?
I have.
So for those of you that are watching, wondering how that can happen, it's hollowed out in the end of the bat barrel, and it hits right on the end, and it just flakes off the end of the bat. The wood comes apart.
Is that a balance thing, or is that a bat speed thing to cup it?
Well, it's more because the head of the bat kind of gets heavy to some people, so they're trying to take that feel out of the bat, so they hollow the end of it out. It makes it feel more balanced altogether.
Now he's gone 3 and 1.
Here we're going to slow it down for you. You can see right off the end. And there she flies. Looks like wood. No, it's maple. Obviously it's wood.
And he walked him, and now all of a sudden the Tigers bring up Cabrera with 2 men on.
Good time for a big blow from Miggy.
It's going to be the first walk of the ball game for R.A. Dickey. Now, with knuckleballers, as you might expect, he can have some games where he does have high walk totals.
Well, I mean, the knuckler's good. It's what you want. You're hoping that your opponent is going to offer at it. But Tigers have laid off these pitches. The previous inning, he had a 6-pitch inning. Tigers have laid off several close pitches moving out the plate. And Dickey's in trouble with 2 outs here against the Tigers. That little balk move I was talking about, that's not even his good one. He's quick, but gotta watch that front leg. As Cam Maben, I would stay very close right here.
Cabrera hits one in the air toward right field. Carrera is going to get there to retire the side, and the Tigers will settle for 1 run. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Last inning, 5 straight fastballs, 2 to Ezekiel Carrera. Then he got an 0-2 count. Actually, that was 3 to him. Then 2 to Josh Donaldson, who deposits a 3-run homer into the left center field seats. That was the big blow. Anibal Sanchez is done, 4 innings pitched, 5 runs today, 2 walks and 6 strikeouts.
Got ourselves a Wallside Windows pitching change. It'll be Dustin Molican.
Only a second game for the Tigers. ERA at 4.50. 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. Pretty much a fastball slider guy. Got to make good pitches, this team. Boy, they like to tee up when you get behind.
We've documented Molican's past 13 years to the minor leagues, getting his first big league opportunity this year. And the first one is fouled back out of play by Troy Tulowitzki. He'll be followed by Pilar and then Devin Travis here in the 5th. A couple of singles for Tulowitzki. He has also scored a run. Molican missing outside.
That ball looked right there. I think Tulo's got 2 hits on 2 change pieces. Actually, a hanging curveball is first at bat. Change up. So Molican will go at him with the fastball and the slider.
Slow roller toward third, charging Castellanos on the bare hand. Great play by Nick.
That's a really nice play. Again, another example of the improvement of Nick Castellanos. Watch how he sets his body up. Watch how his feet are set up so when he gets it, he's got him turned already, he can immediately throw it. I think he's going to turn. He's got this down. It's much easier to do, I think, on that turf the way it was coming at him. So you got that angle, set himself up. If you set yourself up, you're going to make a more accurate throw and you're going to get more on it.
And that throw, more times than not, is right at the chest of Miguel Cabrera. Kevin Pilar stands in.
Gee. I think my eyes are off today, huh?
Maybe, maybe not.
No, they are.
Drill to right field. And Aviles to make the play. 2 gone. Well, Fox Sports Detroit's University Days rolls right along this summer with Eastern Michigan University at Comerica Park on Tuesday, July 19th. Buy a special ticket package to the Tigers Twins game and get a Tigers baseball cap in Eagles colors. To buy tickets or to get more info, visit tigers.com/EMU.
Devin Travis made it out on the first pitch. You knew he was going to take it. That was his last at bat. Made it out on the first pitch. So in general, they're going to come up the next time up, take one.
Travis 0 for 2, a strikeout and pop up. A little bit outside. Molican, a native Canadian from Regina, Saskatchewan. That sails outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Getting a chance here to pitch in Toronto again. His first big league opportunity this year after over a decade in the minor leagues. Perseverance has paid off.
Guess you find out how big your dream is, don't you?
You really do. I mean, when you get to, I would think, 8, 9, 10 years in the minor leagues, a decade or so, you start to wonder.
I think many think about it after 1 year, to be honest with you. It's a real eye opener when you do a big league, or you do a minor league or major league season. A lot of commitment, a lot of doubting of yourself.
Malakin came up the first time, was actually warming up to come into a ball game and didn't get in, and then was sent down.
Yeah.
And so he had to be thinking, man, here was my only big league chance, and I never got in. But the Tigers then called him back up. Missed outside. 3-2.
Zone's gotten tight. 6'4", 230 pounds, 31 years old, gets the bigs. Regina, Saskatchewan.
Career ERA in the minor leagues, 4.75 entering play this year. And he's going to walk it. 2-out base on balls. This is how it started last inning, a 2-out walk.
You know, the Blue Jays have scored 5 runs here as we are in the bottom of the 5th. All of them have been scored with 2 outs, I believe, haven't they?
Yep, they have.
So this is the dreaded 2-out walk again. It's not been good for the Tigers so far today.
2-run single by Tolle in the second with 2 outs. The Donaldson home run came with 2 outs in the 4th. That's driven foul down the left field line by Smoke.
And if you compare today's game with the first 2 games, Tigers got a lot of trouble. I think there was bases loaded 3 times in the first game, 4 times in the second. It's just the opposite. They got the outs when they needed them, when they counted. Crazy game. Never know how it's going to work out. Never know what challenge is ahead of you. Pilar 7 steals. Caught 4 times, 2 outs. You might think he's thinking about going. I'm sorry, Devin Travis. Put the clock on Mulliken.
Would you like a Canadian history lesson, Gibby?
Yeah, give it to me.
Did you know that Regina, Saskatchewan was originally known as the good old pile of bones?
I did not know that.
It was changed to Regina in 1882. I figured you'd know that.
Yeah. We're talking about bees. I know about that.
The 0-1 is hammered to right field. Aviles is on the move, still going, not going to get it. It's going to go up against the wall and over the wall. Hell, the Tigers get a break there. That would have scored a run. Ground rule double for Smoke.
They do get a break right here. Smoke gets a pitch that he can handle. The Tigers have been throwing him up and in a little more. Mulliken misses the spot just a bit. Smoke gets the barrel on the ball and it bounces out. Like you said, it's a good break because Travis has to stop at third. I don't like that ruling. You can tell some guys are going to score on those balls easily, don't you think?
Yeah, you can, but then it becomes a judgment call for the umpires. But I think most of the time you're right. You can tell if a guy's going to score.
Well, there are cases where the umpires do make a judgment on the call. So working good for the Tigers this time.
Here's Darwin Barney. He hammers one to left field. It is hooking foul. Ooh, a second deck shot. Oh, 0-1 on Darwin Barney.
Yeah, the pitch is up in the zone. Barney very aggressive early. He has been the whole series. That ball down, get it moving away.
Barney strikeout, ground out. Out of play. Now the count is 0-2. (5-1) Blue Jays lead. Another 2-out threat for Toronto in this game. They have 9 hits on the scoreboard now. Here's the 0-2. High, 1-2. Darwin Barney, a former Chicago Cub. In fact, he won a Gold Glove with the Cubs one year.
He's always been a very fundamental, scrappy player.
The 1-2.
See his approach right there, not giving himself up. He is guarding against an off-speed slider. So you can only foul the fastball over to the right side.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and so the ground rule double helps the Tigers. They'll strand 2. 5 in the books on a glorious day here in Toronto.
At the top of the 6th, as Victor Martinez strolls to the plate, and during the All-Star break, Victor plans to go to Florida to his cattle ranch. When he retires, he wants to raise beef cattle, and over the break, he's going to go to that ranch where he says it's very peaceful. He can put his feet up, relax, and take his mind and off the game of baseball, rest his body a little bit, but wants to raise beef cattle when he's all done. He's been looking into that, and he's reading a book called Raising Cattle for Dummies, guys. That's what his interest is.
Well, there's nothing like peace and quiet in the All-Star break either, right, Trev?
Yeah, and these guys have some plans to get some. Justin Verlander told me he has a home in Turks and Caicos, and that's where he's off to after this one.
Maybe we can stow away on the airplane with him. All right, Trev, thanks. Yeah, here's Victor Martinez, Nick Castellanos, and Justin Upton in the 6th inning. So Victor already thinking about his future once his baseball days are done. A little cattle ranching in his future.
Got to learn how to ride horses.
Probably already knows.
Can hurt him up.
2-1 on Victor. Fouled that one off.
Victor's going to have to learn how to do some cutting. You know what that is, right?
No.
Well, that's the kind of horse thing. I think they call them cutter horses. That's how they herd the cattle up. Ever rid a horse?
I have. And I've been thrown off a horse too.
Oh, well, that's fun.
So that was the last time I've been on a horse.
So they sense that you didn't. They could sense it.
Yeah, he didn't like it. Martinez strikes out, 1 away. How about you?
Oh yeah, I used to have many of them.
Well, maybe you give me some lessons.
It's a good knuckler here. Look at it, just eats him up. You know, I was talking to Victor before the game. He used to hit right-handed against Tim Wakefield.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because he threw the ball much softer, but he doesn't feel comfortable doing it against Dickey.
Here is Castellanos. That is the 4th strikeout for R.A. Dickey. Well, Dickey right now is 41 years old, and you wonder how long he can keep going. Well, Tim Wakefield was 44 and was still pitching. Phil Niekro was 48.
And knuckleballers can go a long time.
Ground ball to short. Tulowitzki slings it over there, and there are 2 gone.
70 pitches for R.A. Dickey. Well, Nick's been swinging early. Hasn't been able to get on him though. 2 down here as we're in the top of the 6th.
Justin Upton hit a ball extremely hard right to Darwin Barney in his last at bat line out.
L5. Is that right?
That's an L5, correct. Here's a strike call. Still looking for home run number 200. Kinsler got his 200th earlier on the road trip in Tampa. It's what we call a setup here in television. He's about to hit one out here. The 0-1 pitch.
Going for it. Who's we, by the way? Or we call it? You call it or
I
we
called
do?
it. I called it.
You said we call it.
All right, I called it.
Okay, just verified. Maybe
George, this is what I deal with on a nightly basis.
Maybe I said something that I forgot.
George, my stats man, is looking. Really? There's a ball outside. 1-2.
Don't fall for it, George. Take you down the wrong road. Get you up. We got to shorten up now a little bit with 2 strikes.
Swing and a miss. I meant next at bat will do it. 1-2-3 go the Tigers in the 6th. Now as we go to the 6th inning, bottom of the 6th inning, Jays on top in this one by a score of 5-1. It'll be Thole, Carrera, and Donaldson facing the right-hander Dustin Molican, who came on in the 5th inning in replace of Mr. Sanchez, and Anibal went just 4 innings today. There's a strike called on Thole.
Yeah, Sanchez, he didn't throw the ball bad. He did not have control over his secondary pitches. It ended up costing him in the 4th.
Buckled him that time. 0-2. It's been a good day for Thole. 2-run single, walk, and also a run scored. Swing and a miss. That didn't last long as Molican handled him quickly. 1 out. Game break now. Here is Johnny Kane. Go Yankees. All right, Johnny, thanks. Here is Ezequiel Carrera. He fouls it back 0-1. Carrera is 1 for 3, single to keep it going in the 4th inning prior to the Donaldson home run. That'll miss inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 5 runs, 9 hits for the Blue Jays. 1 run, 5 hits for the Tigers.
Of course, Mulligan's job is to hold the Blue Jays scoreless in the bullpen as well the rest of the way, so the Tigers can nibble back.
2-1. Brought up a good point earlier with the break coming up. Everybody available today. Brad can just about go any way he wants.
Yeah, I was even wondering if a guy like Pelfrey and Sanchez got in trouble early, but I never heard anybody say anything about that. If you got into an extra inning game, for instance, and you used all of them, it was like a 22 inning game. So Pelfrey would be the guy.
22 innings, huh?
Yeah.
Great.
I could go for that as long as we won. I think I played in the 20 inning game.
Ground ball to first. Backhanded there by Cabrera. 2 gone.
Well, here's our Comerica Bank summary in the 2nd inning. Toronto gets on the board. Josh Tolley with the big 2-out hit. Then Josh Donaldson goes deep, 3-run home run. That was in the 4th, and that was with 2 outs. Then the Tigers get 1 back. Triple by Aviles. James McCann with the ground out to second base. Still stands 5-1 here in the bottom of the 6th.
And here is Donaldson, 2 out of 3 today. Ball 1 low. Donaldson, a 3-run shot and a single in this game. Big swing there.
He was sitting slider right there. 30 pitches for Dustin already, 19 of them strikes.
The move for Donaldson from Oakland to Toronto after the trade was a good one for Josh. He went from 29 home runs a couple of years ago to 41 last year, his first season in a Jays uni, and he won the MVP. He had a monster year last year. The 1-2 is hammered out of play.
Well, he's putting himself in good company too. American League players with 80+ runs and 20+ home runs. Look at Ted Williams, Josh Donaldson right there, kitty corner from him. Alex Rodriguez, Frank Thomas, Reggie, Lou Gehrig. That's pre-All-Star break, all time. All time.
All time. A lot of first half production. Swing and a miss. Mulligan strikes him out. And a good 1-2-3 6th inning. As we go to the 7th here in Toronto, still 5-1 Jays. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Chevrolet, more than you expect for less than you imagine. Back here in Toronto for the final game of the series, final game of the first half of this season. Tigers down 5-1. As we go to the 7th inning, bottom 3, Aviles, McCann, Iglesias. Aviles had a 3-bagger in his last at bat, eventually scored the Tigers' only run.
My guy getting us on the board.
Oh, that's right, he is your guy.
Looking for more. Get on that base, score another. Tigers did have a chance last inning, or 2 innings ago. Had 2 on with Miggy up. Miggy flied out to the right fielder.
2 balls, 2 strikes. There is activity in the bullpen for the Jays. Brett Cecil is the lefty, and the right-hander is Jesse Chavez.
Chavez threw yesterday. Cecil 2 days ago. Got the big curveball, does Cecil. Slow curveball.
Slow roller toward third base. Barney on the charge. Got him by a step. Five in a row retired by R.A. Dickey.
Mike was scooting down that line pretty good, made it close. Just his smoke over there at first base. Watch him come and get this ball. Does keep his foot on the bag though. Nowadays, back in the day, you could get away with it. You see a lot of first basemen pull their foot off the bag.
Yeah.
Now they got the replay and review, so can't get away with it anymore.
Here's McCann. His ground ball scored the run after the Aviles triple in the 5th. 23rd RBI for James. Dickey missing low and away. 2-0. He's gone as high as 111 this year. He's done that twice. Here's his 82nd pitch.
That's a nasty 2-0 pitch. You want the fastball and you get a knuckler right on the outside black.
Low and away, 3-1. Dickey won the Cy Young in the National League with the Mets in 2012. First ever knuckleball pitcher to win that award.
That's quite an accomplishment, isn't it? Only knuckler. Wow.
That's it. And McCann takes his walk.
Good boy, James. We need runners. Down by 4. Gonna taking the trainer out there. We must have a blister or something. Dickey doesn't look like he knows what's going on. But obviously they told him about something before he went out for the inning. It's probably going to be it. Got to be a blister or a nail. Knuckleball pitchers file their nails all the time.
Right.
Might have an overfile. Dickey's going to stay in.
So no visit to the mound. And R.A. Dickey has gone 6 1/3 in this game.
And when you go out there with the trainer, it doesn't count as a visit unless you say something like, "Hey, man, throw this guy inside," or "Are you gonna stay away on him?" You know, if the umpire catches you with something like that, it counts as a visit.
Iglesias looks at a ball outside. Line out, ground out for Jose. Down the middle it comes.
Got the 1-0 fastball. Oh, come on.
A late call by Paul Nart.
Now, I don't think the Tigers have gotten many of those calls today. I actually thought that I was not seeing them right, but that's one of those pitches. Got a bad break there. Showing a little bit off.
One and two.
It's kind of hard to lay off that high pitch with a knuckleball. If you take it, it could jump down a foot real quick. It's just going to be a hard knuckler here. It'll be close to 80.
Fly ball, shallow center field. Pilar is under it. And there are 2 outs. Hey, this Saturday at 1 p.m. Tigers pitcher Michael Fulmer will be signing autographs at the D Shop inside Comerica Park. Autograph tickets start at $30. For more information, visit tigers.com/autographs. You get yourself a Michael Fulmer signature.
That D Shop's pretty nice. I went in there and had some people that had twins. Got a couple matching Tiger apparel, matching Tiger apparel. Got a couple young Tigers out there somewhere.
Yeah. Got to start them early. Kinsler had a triple in his last at bat. He's 1 for 3.
We'll take another.
Here's the 0-1. In shallow right field. That ball is going to hang up long enough for Carrera. That'll end the inning. Tigers get a runner. But Strand demand coming up the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
Pitch by pitch. Dustin Mulligan does a good job. This is Josh Donaldson. I've been talking about the breaking ball. He throws the breaking ball there, follows it up with another. Now he's got Josh Donaldson thinking about the breaking ball. He gets the strikeout on a heater. That's just my opinion that when you mix the pitches up, you get the hitters thinking, because I know that Josh Donaldson's been thinking about the breaking ball. He's seen a lot of them already this series. It gives you a little bit of leeway if you make a mistake with that heater.
The fastball, right?
I thought it worked well right there.
And here come the Jays down the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Michael Saunders. 3, 4, and 5 coming up. Saunders, Tulowitzki, and Pilar. First one is hammered to right. It is a foul ball.
But you know, again, my observation is that the Blue Jays, like a lot of clubs, they really like the heater, like to beat on it. You have to get them off of that. Not to say that nobody's not trying or anything like that. It's just pointing out that it can work a different way. Not every time, just shows how it can work.
Saunders 0 for 3, including a double play ball and a strikeout.
They always say that because I don't ever want people to think that I like second guessing people, because I remember how hard it was in these situations. I mean, they have a game plan going in. Trust me, they prepare. They're trying to execute pitches. So I don't ever want it to come off like I'm second guessing. It's not a second guess. It's just merely showing how other ways can work.
Here's the 1-1.
We had talked about that previously throughout the game, and it hasn't worked out, so it's frustration as well.
Well, to me, it comes off as educational. I mean, when you're pointing out the finer points of baseball and how to attack hitters and different ways of doing things, and that's how I look at it. Here's the 2-1. Foul back 2-2.
Well, I've seldom, you know, when they threw the 5 straight fastballs, and I spoke out on that. I hate to do that again because guys are all prepared to do and try and get outs and be successful. So if it comes off as second guessing, I don't like that part. But I had been talking all game about how I think the breaking balls, we talked about in the open, how important they were for Matt Boyd last night. And today we've been unable to do that. Even if we would have done it, it might not have worked. Okay, just be clear about that. But the fastballs, they've been very aggressive and hit them very well in big situations today.
2-2. There's a grounder right back to the mound. Malakin snatched it. One gone. He's done a nice job out of the bullpen.
Yes, he has.
5 in a row retired by Dustin Malakin. That'll bring up Troy Tulowitzki. 2 singles and a ground out. He very nearly had his 3rd hit. Little chopper hit the 3rd that Castellanos charged
great
on.
play. And just to show you the other side of it, Tulo's got a hit on a hanging curveball and a hit on a changeup. So I mean, it's not like they don't hit off-speed pitches.
Awkward swing there. 0-1. Ground ball to short, and Iglesias right at the belt plays the hop. 2 gone. Oh, we're getting close. David Ortiz, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, and all of baseball superstars will come together for the primetime events that'll light up the summer. The Major League Baseball All-Star Game from San Diego, Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox.
You know, we really never got to go back and talk about that All-Star Game stuff, remember?
Well, these games have been so engaging.
They have.
They've been really good games. The first 3, of course, the Jays jumped out to a 5-0 lead in this one. That's bunted to third base. Going to take another tough play. Castellanos unable to make it, and it'll be a bunt single for Pilar.
That's pretty sneaky. This is a smart play by Pilar. Really takes his time, squares around, doesn't try to get out of the box too quickly, and puts the emphasis on placing the ball. He's basically squared around. You see where it comes off of not the sweet spot. Kind of catches. Casty comes in, actually makes a great play on this. Can't get around it as much as he'd like. But Pilar runs pretty good, and on with a 2-out bunt single.
That'll give Toronto 10 hits on the afternoon. Here is Devin Travis.
See if he tries to get a bag here with 2 outs. Fournette.
Travis strikeout, pop-up walk for the former Tigers farmhand.
Never noticed that. You know what Mulligan does with his hand right there? Did you see that?
I did not. I was looking elsewhere.
See if we can get a shot on that pitching hand when he's taking the signs.
Nervous energy,
I guess.
Grounder right back up the middle into center field, base hit. Pilar going to hit the bag and hold it. So again, a 2-out threat for the Blue Jays. Singles by Pilar and Devin Travis. That's going to be it appears for Malacan. Kyle Ryan has been warming up, so he'll come in to face Smoke.
Going to turn him around. Smoke a switch hitter. Better from the left side.
Ryan comes trotting in out of the bullpen. Malacan is out. Wallside windows pitching change will return. About the 2016 Home Run Derby, who you got in this tournament here, Gibby?
I don't have anybody yet. Who you got? I think everybody's going to be wanting to see Giancarlo Stanton. We call him Herman Munster. He's so strong. He's big. He hits tape measure. You want it, how many, or the who's going to hit the longest?
Who's going to win it?
Or each. We want to go the double. Kyle Ryan coming in for his 31st appearance. 3.30 ERA. His last outing did not go good, but got to come in and shut down the Blue Jays here in the bottom of the 7th. Keep that score 5-1.
Smoke had a double in the 5th inning, ground rule double. Turning around, batting right-handed. And you look at a ball low, 1-0. Singles by Pilar and Travis. And 11 hits now for Toronto. They lead 5-1 in the 7th. Popped him up in the air to center field, not deep. Cameron Maybin coming in. That'll end the threat. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left, 7 in the books. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
Shot presented by Magic Window.
Here's the pitch on the way, a swing and a belt, left field, way back, Blue Jays win it! The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run in the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays have repeated as World Series champions. Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
The voice of the great Tom Cheek, who called that home run one of the more thrilling endings to a World Series game. And of course, the Blue Jays celebrating the 40th year of baseball here in Toronto today. Had a ceremony before the game. A lot of the old timers are back, but not looking like old timers.
Yeah, it's always good and interesting to watch the new guys relate and talk and communicate with the old guys. This is what these guys are trying to do, what they accomplished back in '92 and '93. So Jesse Chavez, the new Blue Jays pitcher, threw it the other night, threw the ball very well. Fastball, lots of cutters, occasional change.
Cameron Maybin rolls one towards short. Tulowitzki's been busy. One gone. So Chavez is going to have to go right through the middle of the Tigers lineup. Cabrera coming up. Miggy a single for 3 against the starter R.A. Dickey, who goes 7 in this ball game today.
5 hits and a run, walked 2 and struck out 5.
Chavez pitched game 2 in the series, went 1 1/3. That'll bounce in. 1 1/3 scoreless for Chavez, the former Athletic.
Couple curveballs he's thrown already.
Cabrera has a few questions for Paul Nart on that last call.
Didn't say anything. Remember, they kind of were doing some look back and forth yesterday on the check swing.
Got him, strike 3. Well, Miggy caught looking.
You can see Miggy walking away. He's talking to him. Guess he thought that was inside, and it probably is a little bit. Miggy would know. But the box tracks shows it got the corner. I think it's the front of the plate, isn't it? That box tracks gets.
Well, that's going to be it. Chavez comes on, gets the 2 right-handers. They're going to want Cecil now to turn Victor Martinez around. Pitching change here in Toronto. We'll be back. 5-1 Jays. A 5-1 ball game. We play here in the 8th. 2 outs, nobody on for the Tigers, and Brett Cecil, the left-hander, coming on to take on Victor Martinez.
Yeah, Victor, I'm not sure exactly initially why they were going to do this, but I think they just wanted to get Cecil in the game. He's going to have the big break. See his numbers on the year. Got the big slow curveball. Victor really .309 against lefties, .310 against righties, so not a huge advantage.
Here's the 1-0. 2-0 on Victor Martinez. Castellanos waiting on deck. Victor's strikeout, pop up, ground out. Fouled out of play. 2-1 on V-Mark.
Of course, Nick Castellanos behind Victor, and he's hitting .230 off lefties, .333 off righties. So maybe Gibbons has looked a hitter beyond Victor as well.
Cecil off the disabled list recently, left tricep strain. Right at the end of June, they took him off the DL. Here's the 2-1. Popped him up. Straight up. It'll be who? Tulowitzki taking charge.
Shortstop take control. They all wanted it.
1-2-3 inning to the bottom of the 8th we go. Josh Donaldson has the big blow in this ball game, a 3-run shot way back in the 4th, and Anibal Sanchez again just did not have it today.
R.A. Dickey pretty good on the other side, 7 innings pitch. Only give up 1 run.
Kyle Ryan goes back to work as we go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a strike called on Darwin Barney. Barney, then Tolley, then Carrera. It'll bounce in, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Appealed, don't get the call.
Strikeout, ground out, strikeout for Barney, who had his 7-game hitting streak snapped yesterday. And he'll pull that one to left. Base hit. Leadoff single here in the 8th for Barney. Hey, Chris Draper's here.
Sitting there with his son, I believe, and his dad.
Yeah, Dad Mike's son Keenan.
Got their Tiger hats on. Chris Draper from Toronto. Special assistant to Wings GM Ken Holland. Taking in the ball game. Try and get some seats in the shade maybe though, huh?
Yeah, next time. Absolutely.
He's not bald like I am. You're bald. The sun just like a magnet in my head.
Swing and a miss and a big rip there by Tolley.
Though that would be nicer than the '97 World Series. I was sitting in the upper deck in Cleveland and snowy with my family.
Yeah, snow. I don't really want to deal with that. No balls, 1 strike. Although the postseason just keeps getting later and later and later.
For hockey?
No, for baseball.
Oh, yeah.
World Series games going into November.
We have that little extra round for that with the play-in game.
Yeah, the 2 wild cards now make it much different. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike on Tolley.
Got to throw strikes. Got to get in the head in the count. It's always, the outcome's usually better.
Jays have out-hit the Tigers today, 12-5. They lead 5-1 in the bottom of the 8th.
Kyle Ryan, lefty's hitting .286 off him. .303 on the righties.
Line drive to center field, base hit. Tolley came in batting .120. He's got 2 hits and a walk today. By the way, Fox Sports Detroit's University Days rolls right along this summer. Central Michigan University at Comerica Park on Friday, July 15th. Buy a special ticket package to the Tigers-Royals game. Get a Tigers baseball cap in Chippewa colors. To buy tickets or to get more info, it's tigers.com/CMU.
So we have Central scheduled and Eastern.
We have earlier.
I haven't seen the Sparties coming in.
They will be.
Looks like Ryan and Castellanos talking about what they're going to do in case they're bunting. They're going to get signs here from McCann.
Mark Lowe tuning up in the Detroit bullpen. Ezequiel Carrera is 1 for 4, single run scored. Tigers pinching at the corners defensively. Carrera no sign of bunt, and he takes a awkward swing.
Yeah, there's a slider right there. Been a broken record about it. I don't think he likes to break the ball. You throw him a good one, I don't think he's going to be able to get on it. I can see him bunting though, even though he swung at the first pitch.
This situation screams bunt.
Well, they do have a 4-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th.
Way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Donaldson on deck. Carrera hits .429 against lefties. Outside.
You know, when Kyle's good, he just has his good location. He's got a good sinker going for him, but his last 2 games has struggled a bit with his location. Get behind in the count like this, and you got to throw it over. You could throw that slider over. I don't think he's looking for that. He's looking for the heater.
Slap it in the air down the third base line. Foul ground. Iglesias, long run. Can't get there. And slides against the wall. Man, he was running full bore.
He might have hope they don't hyperextend their knee there. Went after that very aggressively. Good effort. But you want to see down by 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Ran a long way. Look at there he's going. Should be okay, but he felt it in his knee. That might show up again some other day. You have accumulation of plays like that, and at some point a little piece of meniscus may break loose. Get a little cleanup and go at it again. Get this slider over.
Carrera spoiled it.
Got action. Jason Grilli and Bo Schultz. Both warm in the Toronto bullpen. Now you got guys out there warming up. They may be just getting work in because they're getting ready to hit a plane.
Again, the 2-2 fouled off the mask of McCann.
Well, Carrera is looking for the curveball right now, the slider. Those right there have been elevated out over the middle of the plate. Throw the good one, the chase one, down, breaking out of the zone. I think he could get him.
Full count now, 3-2. Carrera's done a really nice job for them, getting some extended playing time. They're still without Jose Bautista, who is a major bat in their lineup with turf toe. He's been on the DL.
Yeah, when you can lose a Bautista and then you get a guy that you got leading off a game and he's doing well, absolutely.
Slow roller toward third base. Castellanos will get the one out at first.
Well, let's take a look at Big Boy's big play of the game. Happened in the fourth inning. Unfortunately, not good for the Tigers. Josh Donaldson hits an 0-1 pitch into the left field seats. 3-run dinger has put Toronto up 5-0. It's now 5-1 in the bottom of the eighth.
So Donaldson now with runners at second and third. First base open. Not going to hit.
Yeah, you got to do this.
Well, came intentionally and
lefty on lefty. Although Saunders hits lefties decent, but Josh Donaldson crushes lefties in big situations like this. That aggressive boos. Ooh.
Very aggressive.
How can you boo that, huh?
You want to see him hit?
Look at he's taking his stuff off. Look at Donaldson. He's got his stuff off. I still like the fact that you have to throw the 4 pitches.
You do?
They're talking about India. Yeah, because it's not as easy as you think. Some guys get the thing. They airmail it. Make them earn it. Make them execute what they want.
Well, I think the only reason they're thinking about that is to keep the games moving, but really how much time do you save?
That took less than a minute probably.
Yeah. So now here is Saunders, and against lefties 293. He has an 0 for 4 going here. Bases are full. Swing and a miss. They are loaded up with Barney and Tolle and Donaldson.
Think about loading them up. Not much margin for error. No room. Anything back to the backstop? Can't walk. Nowhere to put him. Got one option. That's get him out.
On the outer edge. 1-2.
The best option is the double play.
Tulowitzki waiting on deck. Here's the 1-2. Ooh, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Where we sit up here, we got a real good view right over the top of home plate. Ball, you can just kind of see how from his angle on the rubber, the ball does cut diagonally over the plate.
Now he's gone full at 3-2.
Well, you know what they say about 3-2 count and the 2-2 count. You throw it 2-2, you got to throw it 3-2. He's going to be looking for the fastball.
Fouled it off. 3-2 the count stays on Michael Saunders. Tulowitzki on deck.
Execute this slider right here, you'll get him. Another heater. Well, he's got 2 in a row. It's just sometimes hitters, you're up there, you don't guess totally, but you have a feeling sometimes what you're going to throw. You might be saying, as he's throwing me 2 fastballs in a row, he might be thinking he's going to throw me another one, or it could be the other way. It varies from hitter to hitter. He takes his time. I'm not looking at the monitor. I'd say he's going to throw a slider here, but he didn't want to throw it. You're the hitter, you're watching the pitcher. Is he shaking off? He's going to throw the heater again.
Ground ball, base hit, left field. 1-1 scores. That's Parney. Tolley being held at third base. It's an RBI single for Michael Saunders.
Pretty good at bat by Saunders right here. Ball just out over the plate. Takes it between the 5-6 hole. Saunders is a good-looking hitter this year, I tell you. Much different than we've seen in the past. Here comes Brad. That's going to be it for Kyle Ryan.
Well, Tulowitzki due up. Bases are loaded, and the Tigers are going to go back to the bullpen here, and they're going to bring in Mark Lowe. That's going to be it for Kyle Ryan, who was unable to get Michael Saunders.
Well, they intentionally walked Donaldson to get to Saunders, and Saunders put a good at bat on him. Tigers fortunate, only 1 run scored. It's going to bring in Mark Lowe to face Tulo.
Hey, follow the Tigers with MLB.com at bat. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or your tablet.
New pitcher is Mark Lowe coming in for the Tigers. Had a tough first half of the season. He'll be looking forward to the break. 33rd game this year. He has 8 holds. The ERA's got to come down. He's a much better pitcher than that. Whip is a 1.89. That's 1.5 is tops you want to see. In the past, he's been much lower than that. Had a little trouble with his command. 11 walks and only 24 strikeouts. So you get him in a game like this. Tigers keep trying to find his mechanics, get him some success in some of these situations, and hopefully he can come back and dominate as he has prior to coming to the Tigers. That's why they signed him.
Here is the Chevy Silverado most dependable player. Here's one guy that has dominated. Frankie Rodriguez.
Yes, he has 24 saves, most saves pre-All-Star break in Tigers history. Of course, you have Valverde and Todd Jones with 24 as well. So if he should get another, it doesn't look like it yet, but Tigers may tie it up and get Frankie in there, get his 25th.
That'd be nice.
Got to think that way.
Got to get this out. And then another one. Tulowitzki coming up there with the bases loaded. Still only 1 out. Got a pinch runner at first base. Saunders out of the game. Junior Lake will pinch run. Here's Tulowitzki. Swing and a miss.
Tulo looking for the fastball there. Didn't get it. Good first pitch by Lowe.
Jays had 14 hits on the afternoon now. Popped him up. That'll help. That's Kinsler. Big out there, 2 gone.
Thought I heard somebody screaming down there. Good job by Mark Lowe. Going off speed early. Came with the heater. Got Tulo to pop out with the bases loaded.
We'll bring up Pilar. (6-1). Blue Jays have the lead. Pilar has 2 singles. Ball 1 high.
James McCann held that there for a while, wanted the call. Pilar's going to be looking dead red. You got to pitch backwards.
Strike on the outer edge. 1 ball, 1 strike on Pilar. 350 career with the bags full. He's 2 for 4 this year.
No grand slams. Amazing how long it takes people to hit the GS.
Popped him up. And Lowe coming out of the bullpen. Going to get a couple of pop-ups here, and they will leave them loaded. They get a run, though, and we go to the 9th. Now 6-1 Toronto. His last call time for the Tigers. We go to the 9th inning, 6-1 in favor of Toronto.
Got new right fielder Junior Lake stays in the game, and Ezekiel Carrera, as he's been doing all series, has moved from right to left. Got a new pitcher, Bo Schultz, the Indy ball kid who's now in the big leagues. 5th game for the Blue Jays. He's got pretty good numbers. 6 strikeouts, has not walked a batter yet, so throwing strikes.
Castellanos leads it off, and Nick looks at a strike on the outer edge.
That Nyquin kid from Cleveland,
good player.
Yeah, I didn't. We couldn't see that. I'll bet you that ball was down. He struck me as a real low ball hitter. He's a guy kind of looking at rookie year too, right?
He is. Fulmer.
It's early.
Mazara, Texas. We'll see how those guys react to the second half of the year. 1 ball, 1 strike. They'll get back out of play, 1-2.
Tell you, it's a real difference when you face an 80 to a 70-mile-an-hour knuckleball, and then you come in here, you got Bo Schultz The slider, curveball, and a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Many teams have set their rotations around guys who throw way different. They don't like to throw a guy that throws hard and then throws hard. They like to have the pitchers unsimilar. So this is a natural when Dickey starts the game.
Slow roller towards short. Tulowitzki has it. 1 out.
Here's the 1-800 call Sam, call the game. Dustin Malkin, pretty good performance today in his second game for the Tigers. Held the Blue Jays down 2.2 innings, only 3 hits, settled down late. Did walk 1, but struck out 3. So he's going into the All-Star break feeling well. Tigers looking for some stability there in the bullpen, and good effort today. 44 pitches in 2 2/3.
Strike 1 on Justin Upton. Jays have gone with Chavez, Cecil, and now Schultz out of their bullpen and replacing their starter R.A. Dickey, who went 7 strong today. Ground ball, base hit, left field. It'll be a 1-out single for Upton. It's going to bring up Mike Aviles.
Yep, stays on that pitch right there. He's been swinging it much better here towards the end of the first half. Tigers got to keep getting runners on. They're down 6-1 now. So we look at who's the Kinsler could possibly be the tying run. Get everybody on in front of him. Can happen. Happens quick. Roberto Osuna is warming up. That's the Jays closer. He gets with a save opportunity, he'll be in the game.
Strike called, 1-1. Schultz went to high school at Highland Park High School in Texas, which also produced Clayton Kershaw and Lions quarterback Matt Stafford.
Pretty good talent there, huh?
It's a lot of talent. Inside, 2-1.
Matt Stafford's got a big year coming up. In the Lions. You know when Kershaw's supposed to be back? He's been on the DL.
I heard though it's going to be sooner rather than later. Now there's a ball outside. 3-1 on Aviles.
That's what we like. We'll take the free pass. We'll take the freebie. Tigers need to get a run in and load them up and get a dinger.
And Aviles couldn't hold up. 3-2.
Ball really took off, ate him up. You're hoping you get a cookie right there, and it's right down the middle, but that was one of the pitches that Bo Schultz was throwing with the most movement. His fastball is hard, but it's normally very straight.
Here comes the 3-2. Aviles staying alive. Schultz got to the big leagues in 2014 with Arizona and then joined Toronto last year, claimed off the waiver wire by the Jays.
Now we always look at the catcher signs. Watch how Josh Thole gives his signs. He really hides them. Be hard to see him. That's sneaky. Those are sneaky signs.
And he lost it, ball 4.
Boy.
Well, Aviles gets a walk. 2 men on now with 1 out. It's going to bring up McCann.
Going to get a little visit from Mr. Walker. Stall for some time to make sure Osuna is loosened up and that Bo Schultz, he's trying to get his composure back. Tigers need to get another on base, but if they do, the save will be within reach for the Blue Jays. They'll bring in their closer. Well, let's take a look. We've been talking about James McCann. I want you to watch this knee right here, and if you want to watch two things, you can watch the hands, but watch the head. He used to leg kick. See here how high it is right here. Not as big as lift, and we're going to go ahead and play it through. See the knees up top right there. You step. His hands are much quicker on the right. He's got less movement there as well. Let's go ahead and we play it through. And James McCann, that's what when I talked to him, he was telling me about. It makes his hands feel calmer because there's not as much movement with the leg kick. More upright as well. We'll stay on this shot right here, but you'll see more upright. Like if I was just to draw a line straight up and down, where before he felt like he was hunched over. And we'll watch his hands here, and then the leg kick from the side. Much calmer, much quicker to the ball.
Oh, strike called on McCann. He thought that was inside. It's 0-2.
Well, he's been back there all game. He knows what he hasn't been calling for the Tigers. And I think he feels that that's the case here. I think he felt like that ball ran in off the plate. And he got to shorten up here, so he's much more upright than he was at the beginning of the year. Get him.
Little number right in front of the plate. Schultz will make the play himself, and there are two gone with runners advancing. 1-3 on that put out. They'll bring up Jose Iglesias.
Keep the line rolling down to your last out.
Iglesias trying to get it to the top of the lineup.
That bundle work that you tried earlier in the game. Donaldson way back.
And he looks at a strike, 0-1. Iggy is 0 for 3, line out, ground out, fly out. Ground ball towards second, scooped up. Travis throws him out, and that's the ball game. Blue Jays win 3 out of 4 in the series. Final score here this afternoon: Toronto 6 and the Tigers 1.
Well, the one thing is, it's disappointing, we know, and we talked about it coming into the series. I thought the Tigers competed very well in this series. However, we had 2 games. We scored 1 run and no runs. They're going to have to be more consistent in the second half. They're all looking forward right now to going and having some free time, and we call it being off the itinerary. So you get to get recharged, and you've got a little ways to go for the second half.